we're here to present our Standard Chartered's strategy, its corporate strategy, and our recommendation to our Standard Chartered's corporate strategy. Louder. Okay, so let's begin with their current strategy that they're using right now. So it's basically it's basically a kind of a market-focused strategy. They focus on China and the growing economies in Asia and Africa. Their emphasis is in the Chinese strategic alliance with ABC, Agricultural Bank of China, their relevant clearance in UK, and the growing economies in Asia, ASEAN, and Africa and Middle East. And the recommendation in this part would be to emphasize in the European aspect of the European and American markets as well, which we'll define in the presentation later afterwards. The other focus in the business model is their emphasis on sustainable financing. Sustainable financing is one of the major corporate strategies that they're emphasizing highly on by either reducing their financing towards environmental degrading factors and emphasizing more on the sustainability by opening branches in New York, Hong Kong, and Singapore. So that's the business, how they add value to the business. From the customer's perspective, they focus on meeting the customer's desires and needs. Standard Chartered has managed to meet that quite well. The only negative aspect in this regard is the lack of investment banking and the share capital equity market that they have left in the recent years. So that's how the market in the Europe and Americas, which are high income economies that focus on investments rather than savings, will impact Standard Chartered in the future. So the industry analysis will be continued by Singapore.
Talking about the industry analysis, let me focus on the three factors: industry, customer, and substitute. Industry already a red ocean, which means market is already saturated by the many players. So in fact, around 25,000 banks are operating their business in the market. So it's really important to provide them new products to get their competitive advantages. And also, customers have a low switching cost. So if they don't like their service or product offering, they may switch to another bank at little to low cost. And one more thing is a substitute. In the banking industry, there are some alternative financial services like Apple Pay, crypto, and Bitcoin. So it's really important companies should attempt to get the customer logged in. So for example, offering the products which encourage to the customer to engage with the bank long term. So our recommendation of this slide is to approach to the digital currency that may take part in the future. So for the next slide, let me call Jonali.
Talking about the threats from the external environments, we are mainly focusing on the technological threats. It is because in 2012, Standard Chartered Bank was charged with $1.1 billion for violating sanction and laws against anti-money laundering. Standard Chartered Bank has recently decided not to invest in coal industry, but as per our research, we've seen many projections that proves that the demand for coal will increase in the coming years. So I think, in our opinion, Standard Chartered Bank is missing out on income generating opportunity. Talking about the sustainability practices, we found that Standard Chartered Bank considers sustainability as its major corporate strategy. It was also awarded Best Bank for Sustainable Finance, which is a good thing because many research shows that sustainability and financial performance of banks have positive correlation. But despite their sustainability practices, Standard Chartered Bank is still investing in environmentally degrading industries like coal, mining, fossil fuels, and chemical manufacturing. And even their decision to not finance coal industries was not just motivated by their decision to practice sustainability, but also because the coal industry in recent years had become unprofitable. So for further presentation, I would like to call my first.
Hello sir, good afternoon. Basically, we found that some trends that are very important for the banking industry that will be changes, and that will be the growing aging population, the saving trend changing, increase in middle class consumption changing, and the US-China trade war, and the Brexit and the money laundering trade will be changes. But before going to the current trend, I would like to focus on the current situation. as we discussed before that the ACB is mainly focused on the African, Middle East and Asian. But the least focus is on the Europe and America. They only earn the only 11% from this. And another strategy of Standard Chartered Bank is to focus on the sustainability. So they're reducing their investment in the coal industry. As a result, they are losing their potential revenue. As we found that saving trend is changing. Previously the savings holding by the high economic country, but this trend is changing, and now the developing countries are holding the 2/3 of the global savings. So our recommendation is could be like this. We would like to see this in very near future, that as we enter into share equity market, because we are focusing on the expansion in UK and US. So we know that the economy of US and UK is very they are a high income country. So if SCB wants to establish their market in those markets, then they need to be change their service pattern. And our suggestion would be the re-entering share equity market. And for another the ACB is losing its potential revenue for reducing the investment in coal. So ACB already launches the sustainable deposit solution in US, Singapore and Hong Kong. So we are recommending SCB to focus on this and expand this. For going to be the predictable trend, we found the demographical trends and the technological trends. For demographical trend, we found that the aging population is increasing, and the consumption of the middle class will be increasing, specifically in the Asian Pacific. That is the focus area of the SCB, and the technology will be mature enough in their future. So by the technological maturity can increase the customer base. So our recommendation to be SCB is to be old age saving funds, develop the old age saving funds, and update the retirement funds and saving patterns. I would like to invite the Ashok for the contribution.
So we have chosen deglobalization as an unpredictable trend for Standard Chartered, which is quite uncertain in the near future. But due to political tensions between countries such as China and America, and between London, Brexit and US-China trade war are the initial phases of deglobalization. So because of these political issues happening in the world, there could come a scenario where the Chinese government imposes a law saying that the Chinese people and the Chinese corporations are allowed to operate with Chinese banks only. This would mean Standard Chartered would have to leave the Chinese economy, leaving behind 40%, around 40% of its total revenue. As we all know, that China is one of the fastest growing economies in the world. It has focused a lot in the Chinese economy. So for such scenarios, Standard needs to plan ahead. It needs to start making strategic alliances with the local bank, with other corporations, or even plan to make a joint venture with a local bank in the near future. So as we have listed a few more unpredictable trends in our report, we have a few recommendations for Standard Chartered. The first one is it needs to diversify itself in the other regions of the world as well. Not only it should focus on the Chinese market, it has high dependence on the Chinese market, so it needs to diversify in European countries such as Italy or Spain, or in the American markets such as Mexico. Or it can even enter new markets in Africa, or penetrate the Indian market, which is the second largest growing economy in the world. The second recommendation we would like to recommend is it should come up with new products such as the Islamic banking. It should come up with different products targeting the culture of different economies, or it can even start its equity capital business or investment banking, which it recently quit in 2015. The third and the most important recommendation we believe is Standard Chartered should diversify its product in a different industry. Standard Chartered is only a financial institutional company, so we believe that it needs to diversify itself in a new industry. We recommend that Standard should enter the technological software industry as well, because Standard Chartered needs a lot of software such as for its cyber security, for its mobile banking, for its online banking or web portals. So instead of leasing those services from third-party companies like fintech and paying millions of dollars for the licensing fees or maintenance fees, it could invest that amount in research and development and come up with a new software which it could use for itself and for other financial institutions as well as other companies as well. So another technological software it needs to focus is in blockchain technology. As the rise of cryptocurrency is rising a lot, it needs to plan ahead for the future and invest in blockchain technology because it is quite convenient for the customers these days. I would like to call Sandesh to conclude our presentation.
So the entire presentation was made on the strategy decisions we took were from the analysis of external environment, internal environment, the industry analysis, and how the trends we discussed in the presentation, how it impacts and could impact Standard Chartered in the long, short term, and in the current situation. So basically, in conclusion, our corporate strategy is for diversification. Diversification in terms of their focus on their own customers in old age, diversification in the global market, in focusing in Europe and Americas, diversification in their financial product line by re-entering the equity market, diversification in the entire industry by moving into the technological industry, developing or investing in some type of blockchain or cryptocurrencies that might take over the banking industry in the future. So those are our recommendations to Standard Chartered. We make this in regards to all the internal and external environments that we have analyzed. So thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Right. So, can you just quickly use the microphone? Thank you so much for your time.